Church from. Let's sign that was in October, taken down in June, and we applied for the time. They have first thing. Spurs. And change what they made that time, why we not flooded. Our area is a stage right, but it's a stage right, so we have the bill stop from Public Works.
Thank you.
I think we're going to start as we get into the. The meetings of our policy, stand up on page 5 and follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you have, if you don't attend the council meetings, please watch on YouTube. I watched it on the Tuesday because I've been a lot of days on the train, on the cross gate. And I get reminded yet how, again, how important that flag is to us, how so many of our great times do. Getting council, watching on TV. Okay, we do have everyone to offer cell phones from my library. And make sure you get your ticket for advancing. You get 2 items today for the door prizes. And so we should very happy to do my work here tonight in illness. We do have very new. Yes. You get anything, Roski? So let's start off with talking about product food box. You see that back there, we can't put 6 delivered. Stephen wants to put your thunder.
Thank you for having me here. I love everything about that started with the thank you. So Project Rebox is a new program within Medi-Cal, part of the CalAIM initiative, and the CalAIM initiative is the 5-year plan to reimagine what Medi-Cal can become. And one of the services that are a benefit now for Medi-Cal members is something they're calling medically tailored meals. In our instance, it's a medically tailored fresh fruit and vegetable box. So for this program, the requirements are that you live in Orange County, that you're a Medi-Cal member, and then you have a qualifying health condition. And so there are the obvious health conditions that we all know about: diabetes, hypertension, asthma, heart issues, any other challenges that you might have. There's a wide ranging amount of chronic health conditions that qualify. So this is super exciting benefit. We have one of the boxes here that I delivered to my house this morning. So we'll leave that on, and I think you can hear about that later. But what's in that box is a box with fresh fruits and vegetables that are tailored specific to your medical. So each box is customizable based on you, and it's delivered directly to your door every week for free for 12 weeks. And then after 12 weeks, we do another nutritional assessment phone call, and that unlocks an additional 12-week benefit, and so on and so forth. So the other day I was at an event, and I didn't have time to have the team send one of the boxes up, so I went to the store about the exact content of the box to put in there to show the group that I was talking to what it was about, and it was $58 worth of groceries. So it's a significant amount of groceries. It's a fantastic benefit. It's an awesome opportunity for Medi-Cal to actually invest in their members to create healthier outcomes. So it's great to see the investment and the kind of proactive measures being taken as opposed to reactionary after the recipient. And so it is a great program. So if anybody has Medi-Cal or suppliers back there, or even anybody who has Medi-Cal, they do not have to be referred by a medical professional. You can call this number, hit the QR code, and we'll be able to onboard and over the phone. So very simple process, not very complicated. And once we sign you up, the box will be there next week. So we started this about 15 weeks ago. We delivered 2 boxes. This week, today, and tomorrow, we'll deliver 2,999. We almost got to 3,000. There are 900,000 Medi-Cal members in Orange County, so it's an incredible amount of people. We allow. So thank you for everything.
Please pick up the fires and back. If you have a neighbor that's something, I'm in the weather, not feeling well, you need help. This great program. Okay. We like to call public works up and talking about parking survey.
Hey, Frank.
I know Frank for how since I used to be in
I don't want to.
my president, board members, thank you so much for having me. Real quick, just housekeeping. This little yellow card right here is the best friend of the world. So please pick one up. Everybody, every department in public works is right here. So except for the Mill Street line, everybody else is right here. So I'm gonna give you an update of what we've done. Last time I was here, we were beginning, council gave us some money to start the program to revamp from the parking system. It's about 30-year-old program. It's a small little black box. We're gonna make it very dynamic and vote. So when I was here last time, I asked for your input, and some people didn't have our input or anything like that. We're progressing with that. All of that input of the set up the request for proposal to be able to make sure that we got in there what we need to be able to start the process. Now we're making it a little digitized, and it's going to be a continuous ongoing survey. So this is sound, paper sound, that's online. So pretty soon, we'll get that out. So it's an online survey that you have, like, it's not about survey monkey, you actually click on it, you just answer the questions. At the end, you submit your data. You can do it both on your phone and computer. So it makes it a lot easier to get it, and it's not like we're one time you're done. If you do something different, you visit a friend or programs change in there, you know, why do you do it over here like this? We want that input as we go along. That helps us refine what we're doing going forward. We're going to be in a very great goal. I want to do it Sunday. Everything is going to go digital. That doesn't mean that we don't like the technology, can't come into the city, we pick up a permit, you know, have a good interaction with the counter and everything else together. That's still going to be available. But we're going to be able to do most of it online. The sticky little permits that go on your bumpers and windshield, those will be done. The guest passes, those will be done. Now you're going to sit in with what's going on with the guest pass, right? So with the guest pass, instead of you filling out one for every guest, or maybe have to go online and you think you need one for every guest, you're going to send out a QR code. So all your friends that are coming over and they fill it out for you, and then it's up to them. So it's seamlessly, you don't have to do a lot of anything like that, it goes into it. About a month from now, maybe a little bit more, we'll come back to the technology, how we do that. All right, so for now, right on the street, if this is our new web page right here. So it's right under the permit parking one, but this is for the permit center parking program. This is dedicated to the setting and moving forward down here. So if you want to, so these surveys you see right there, the little things right there. These are the surveys on Granite, Davis, and Jetty. So you can go in there at any time, you see something different, something new, do the survey, submit, and our consultant that's on board right now is collecting all this. And every 3 to 4 weeks, we're going to put it together and see what the demanding questions are. And then we'll start FAQs to make sure we're responding to that more responsibly. So I don't want to walk you through it completely, but it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, you know, and it's self-explanatory. If you just want to pick up on a copy of it, it's in the background, you can see it. If you ask us to come out to the meeting, people are like, I don't want to get on the computer.
The idea is that we're gonna provide these as well, a foldable copy that you go in at the city's copy, we'll copy. The neighbors are invited to be able to sit it in. So if you look foldable copy, put it in, we'll try to figure out how you guys can keep it. And then you said that was a little 95% complete with working out some of the details, depending on all the costs and everything. But that's coming also when you guys asked us to go to your reviews. We're willing to do that, we can hand them out, but we're also gonna give this quick little presentation to, a lot of times you have no questions, so. If you're gonna enjoy the little information you got for you.
Hey, are you a current resident of Santa Ana? The city wants to hear from you and your neighbors about the parking experience in your neighborhood. Santa Ana is conducting a citywide parking study. Community feedback and upcoming data collection will help determine opportunities to improve the parking program. So, how can you help? 1. Visit the Santa Ana parking webpage and fill out our quick survey. 2. Bookmark the same webpage to stay up to date on upcoming opportunities to participate and provide feedback. And 3. Help spread the word to your neighbors about the study. Thank you.
So that's it. We want to make sure it's nice and short, so not everybody gets scared of a long presentation and everything. And when you see this logo here, this is the new logo for the parking program. So anywhere you see that and everything, it's going to be giving out, send out to Nixon, Facebook, everything that we have is going to send out to everyone everywhere. So is there anything you have a question? Sure. You got a question?
No, I was going to start to get.
Cool. So we get the markers and the questions.
Any other questions? Just-
And Fred. You can fill out and then something comes up 2 or 3 months later, you can go ahead and.
Yeah, exactly.
Open.
And then it's an open book, and everything. It's not like we do this.
If you have any questions, just feel free to give me a call. If you need any other.
Right now, these things are- Because the way the program is going to be very dynamic. It's not going to be a box. It's actually going to grow with the city. It's, as we see the need to grow for the market over use. So it's going to be very dynamic and like that. So the input we need from these teams and everything like that. So something we try and when it doesn't work, or we think, this is the problem, but then you tell us. That helps. The other things that we get a lot of questions on it, enforcement. So we're looking for us community busy, we have to prioritize and everything. This will be our place. So we're being part of this whole concept is that we're going to be taking over that. Because when you call us, if you're or on the air call us, you can get a person in real time to go to, let's say, your sleep, then you come back and do the others. So that way you can free up users or the test stuff. Right?
Maybe that's one. Close and laugh.
And I'll say yes, you better. And the other time, you gotta think about it, at least involve me. They will hopefully be able to help you on this. It's not a substitute for it. It isn't a road. Any other questions?
And let me say this, I think they heard our comments. Now, we have this program, but nobody goes. I think this is taking over because I think we need to like.
And their priorities, are more important. Ours being pretty important.
So this is part of like if the neighborhood wants to have permits, so other parts of the community don't park in those streets or in that neighborhood. This is what this is all about here. And if it is, my understanding is that if you don't get everybody in that particular street to sign, but the majority do, you don't provide the service for that neighborhood or that particular street.
So let me answer it with our current program. So our current program requires an observation or an interest. The observation is there are enough cars using the street where prevent people from parking. That, let's say you pass that out there, or you get an interest form, you do a 50+1. Basically, you go around signing with You get your neighbors to sign 50+1 and get you into a petition for you right now. And I'll explain why I say right now, it requires 66% of the voters to say yes to permit parking. If it passes 66%, we get that. The problem with that program is it's only good for up to 4 places. So 4 units, 3 units, 2, and then a single family residence. And the permits are limited to single family residence with 3 permits plus an expense. But a duplex, you only get 2, a 5+3, and a 4+4 with no expense. One of the things that council is entrusted is to open up this program to everyone in the city, not just those 4 components of housing, but everyone throughout the city. So that's what we're looking to do and take advantage of everywhere we can find parking, with any block we can, if possible. So that's the kind of program right now. Going forward, I can't answer the question that specific, if we don't have the studies done to tell you, are we going to reduce it to 50+1, are we going to include 10, so I'm going to just, what we're going to do, we're not there yet. So, but that is why we're here, because we worked here before, and we're still listening, we're going to listen on the survey, and continue to move forward. Some of the highest priority items that came out of some of the surveys we've already done. Look forward and say, okay, if we're going to include everybody, how are we going to fit us and what would be those percentages? Is it going to be this block only or like half a block, the whole block? All those things are on the table and haven't been fully vetted out yet. So we're trying to get the program up around by June. If we do it earlier, we'll bring it to you. But we'll be here continuously. If you want us to your neighborhood, we'll be reporting that out as well. Next month, hopefully, we'll show you more of the technology. How that goes with it. The hard part is we have to notice, 30-day notice that we are going to be capturing license plates. But that's it. No data behind it, no nothing, just license plate compared to our database. And that goes away in 24 hours. So but we got to post that and we'll come out next month to talk to you guys about that. So you guys are comfortable with what we're doing. So I was a very general answer to the second part of the question.
Oh, I mean, I live here in Washington Square, so I'm pretty lucky where we have, like some of the other neighborhoods around here. We have, permit parking only from certain times to certain time. But I also know or have friends or relatives in other parts of the neighborhood where they wanted to get permit parking on, but either because we put up new housing in the area, high risers, or there's not enough parking, so they gravitate towards the neighborhoods and occupy those parking spaces. And I know that some individuals have pointed out that they've tried to get so that the city can help them out to have permit parking, but because either 3 people out of the 6 or 3 people out of 12 didn't sign, so therefore the city didn't do it, and to me, I thought if the majority said yes, that the city would go ahead and put permits of parking.
I'll agree.
And that's on single residents that we're talking about.
Yeah. So technically, if that's the program is the way it is, it's 60%. That's what we have to go with. Because it's part of the resolution, part of the ordinance of that program. But like I mentioned earlier, going forward with the Jeep program, we're going to try to see if it can be brought down. Can it be used 50+1? Can it be 55%? Those numbers haven't been vetted out yet, but those are kind of part of the process. But I mean, my staff is here. And if you want to give us a walk.
Well, we're lucky that we're here in this meeting, but the people that really that aren't here, that are maybe more monolingual, they're the ones that are not here. Maybe you should look to the churches when they go on Sundays or something, pass the word out, so they're aware of what's going on.
Right, and that's the reason for this. So right now you have the English language, we're going to have Spanish and Vietnamese that as well. So if you can pass the word and everything to them, certainly up here also in Spanish. Well, but they need to use it. They can do it, submit it, they can put on it, we're having trouble with this, can contact. One of our staff will definitely contact and pop up a survey and like that. So that's why we're here. That's why we're letting you know that we're trying to put our fingers out everywhere we can and make sure everybody knows that we're touching the whole city. We should get what we need to do. And this is that.
Let me also say that they go wherever they attended neighborhood association, church meetings, they try to get the word out. Really, my intent tonight is to talk about do the survey. Okay, that's kind of key. And he said, put me back to the program is more solid. Next time you see them coming back, that'll be time to talk like it's now. This program right now, as it is, has lots of quirks and whatever. Like the big complaint that I would give from a lot of people and they receive was it's not being enforced. When you just having parking programs, it's not being enforced. So, but if you don't get all this fast, so let's do research on this. I got a great, I got a good schedule, so this last. Go ahead.
We can keep our signs, right?
So
Not
then-
that it's even vague, through the parking.
No, the signs have to say because we have to be able to enforce it. So we can't just park and let people know that you don't park there. So the signs we need to say, like, it's just the, stuff that goes on your car and everything, and that's, all that's gonna be done. So, no, the signs have to say by the.
Thank you.
So important, we do the survey. Important that we do watch our next town meeting, we just come and pull out the difference. What's in. Okay.
We can move the other phone, you know, example, one of the, if I want to buy a phone of the computer.
Right? Right. Yeah, the question whether you would go. Question the chief business over here. Yes, yeah, you'll be able to do this. You can connect to the. On your phone, and you'll be able to do that. Eventually, we can write it up. Yeah.
That's one.
Right now, I'm gonna find out what it is. I'm
There's one thing, you know, like, it's something, what it is, like, I don't know. You know, like, they like, home to their phone.
We haven't started something yet, it's 3 years now. So that was the question behind the second one. It's not feasible at this time to look at this and only for a certain amount of time. And people are being and nothing will follow it. But if they want to, yeah, it's true. And we can do this. All of that, I think the department, this time, what we do, and when they will have.
And what is the thing that I always care for regular, my neighbors. And then some, you know, they not even know how to do it.
So, what about my team? Can I just get the name number?
Thank you. Okay. Three things. One, have Shelley speak first, from the keep wheelchair, correct? They were ran at the town. Okay. Captain first. Okay.
Managed by here in Orange County. I'm here today. We need to talk about medical coverage. So starting April 1st, the California Department of Health Care Services is going to start asking people to renew their medical again. So this wasn't happening during the pandemic. Pandemic, that we know, started March 2020. We are now March 2023. It's been 3 years that people have not had to renew the medical. Our numbers right now say that we have 973,571 members that have medical in Orange County. That's 1 in 4 adults, 1 in 3 children. The city of Santa Ana has the majority of our members. So this is why it is so important. If people forget to renew their medical, they are going to see a disruption in services. That means that medical will be cut off. They're going to have to start the process and application from step number 1. It's a lengthy process. As we heard earlier, we have that amazing box in the back. That's the medical benefit. So it's something that has happened to that box forgets to renew their medical, they will no longer have that burden. So it's super important for people to be aware that medical renewal will start April 1st. That's in a couple of days. So super important. How are we spreading awareness about this? A couple of ways. We are attending a lot of collaborative meetings such as this. We're also doing events where people can come and update their information. That way, when they get mail, they're going to get to the correct address. That way, public service agency can contact them and say, do you still live here? Here is your application. Go ahead and send it. We are also hosting webinars. We have a webinar happening next week on Wednesday and Thursday. We're gonna be talking about the real, what it's gonna be looking like, SFA will be there, they will be speaking. Additionally, Covered California will also be there. We're also going to be hosting member focused events that will happen in May. More on that. I will come back, I'll give an update when we have those webinars ready to go, but as of now, please spread the word. April 1st, Medi-Cal Rio. Thank you.
Go ahead and be like the mayor and float. Alvarez, do you mind?
That's fine.
And it's, if you haven't met our new team there, please do. I had the pleasure of working with her father on some of his campaigns, and so when she ran, she had my support. And I tell you, every month she's been in charge. It's amazing what this lady does, when she gets to, what she's done already. So, Valerie,
And I thought Carl supported because you like me, but apparently my father. First of all, I'm Valerie Mesqua, I'm your new mayor. My 100-day anniversary. And the other times we're 100 days, 36 hours, 2 minutes, the Senate, so. I don't do it for 100 days, and I'm honored to serve all of you, and I'm humbled. I'm gonna start really quick though, I want to give props to Steve. This, if you know family who needs it, sign him up, please, or ask them to sign up, because when I met him and he shared with me, you know, first of all, the vegetables come fresh from Blythe or Coachella, where my husband's from, and I'm over Coachella, we call them, he's from Coachella as well, so, but it's a beautiful box. And so please, if you need it, or you know somebody who needs it, please sign up, and they deliver, they're like, so, it's great, so I just wanted to say about this. And I want to thank all the city staff, being here, everywhere I go, I see all of them, they're not joining me, they're here to represent the city, whether it's traffic, whether it's the bill, hospital, water, planning, parks and rec, and so they come in early in the morning, they stay like late to the evening, and so I want to thank them because they all work very, very hard, so let's give them a round. Some of them have really cool jackets that I want. So I'm Valerie, please call me Valerie. You want to call me mayor, that's okay, but really call me Valerie. I put my pants on the same way you do. I don't, maybe I don't know, but. Yes, we work hard, you've got a doctorate degree, you have that, those letters behind your name, but I'm just Valerie. And yes, I am your mayor, but my family's from this community, I believe in this community, I love working for all of you. My grandmother came here many years ago, my dad's mom from Montana. And she asked the gentleman to take her to LA. She paid him to drive her to LA. And after she was gonna start her life, my father in Mexico, she was able to afford to bring him over. And he dropped her off on First Street. And he said, I used to go to this. Here's LA. And she's like, okay, thank you. You have a car. And she asked him, you're in LA. He said, nope, you are not in LA. You are in San Diego. And she didn't know anything about San Diego, but here we are. She was still alive. She was probably about 95 years old, 96 years old. And so she passed, but that's how it all started on my father's side. She came here from Guadalajara. And so we've been here a long time. My mother's side, they were all born here. My mom was the first time. Those of you don't know, I was raised by my grandmother. My mother and my father were teen parents. I love my parents, and I love my grandmother was raising me because who knows where I'd be with my grandmother. So I'm truly the girl that was raised by the village. My mom being the first time my grandmother was having her living child. Because literally she raised me. My mom was only 14 years old. It was very young. And so, and that's the way it was in manufacturing, even today it is sometimes, so. Part of the reason why I work so hard is that I understand where some of our families come from. I grew up on government assistance, I don't like powdered milk, but I drink it. I love government cheese, makes the best grilled cheese sandwiches. But you know, but I'm not a victim, I am very blessed to have, but I have to be where I am. And I am all that I'm saying. But I will say this as your mayor, I do not believe in saying my poor community or policy goes or, you know, this or that. What I believe in is uplifting our community. And that is the difference between me and other, I don't call myself a politician, I call myself an elected official because I serve. I believe in uplifting. How do we make the city better? It's about public safety, right? It's about addressing the homelessness. It's about working with our school districts. It's about changing the lives, making them brighter. Little things that make our quality of life better. I give out my business card, is my email, and my cell phone number, because I will answer it. And if I don't answer because I have 50 messages, call you back there, raise your hand, call it. Call me over there with my staff. And last year, the city council and the mayor, he was last year, about a year and a half ago, they approved the line item budget for the council and mayor to have one staff or three staff based on a certain amount of money. So I just have one staff because she's with me everywhere I go. And she takes care of lots of things for me and I appreciate her. And so if you can't get hold of me, please get Claudia's card, we will respond. So let me talk about a little bit what I've been doing with the city. I think I drive a little crazy. You know, First Street, when I got elected, First Street was awful. The motels, all the things going on. So we started talking about how people need to address First Street. So not only code enforcement, but police, we said, and others joined me, let's take care of First Street. So if you haven't been by First Street, take a look at it. It's not perfect, but it's better. Because the police have gone in there and taken the criminal element out, and they're working really hard. Police now have permission to do their job. Let me tell you, guys have permission to do their job. And I'm not saying everybody goes to jail, but what I'm saying is now police, code enforcement, they have permission to do their job. And that's what we want in the city. We want good quality of life. And I want to thank Idaho and the staff and, you know, the police department and county because they took care of the pop-ups. You know, when it came out, when I said, you know, I spoke to the, I'm only an officer. They set me up, I know they did, right? And it came out of the media, oh, mayor's not talking. Well, no, I don't want people popping up my street. I want you to be able to walk on the street. If I'm in a wheelchair, I want to be able to walk. There's an ADA issue. I don't want you to die because you eat bad food. But it wasn't the city of Santa Ana. All we did was assist the county. All they did was assist the county. And it just takes a permit and follow the law. Don't block the sidewalks. But it was hurting our community because it was taking from the restaurant, mom and pop. And it was taking from our quality of life because some of them are just huge. And when all of them start to walk out with the ED, they just walk away. They don't have any ID, they just walk away, they give everything there. You know, your red flag should go up there, if something is happening, if they can walk away from all that equipment that costs $90,000 to $100,000 and all of it, and they were in the hospital, they just walk away and move. So we've been really working hard with Sully because I'm part of the city. And we've been working really hard on that with the county. So again, I'm a policy maker. I don't get in the weeds. I understand my role very clearly. I've been spending 8 years on the school board and also 30 years in the conservation department as an officer. I understand about policy. And if we push policy and we give direction and say, let's do this, let's do that, let's change the lights, let's make our streets brighter, let's hire more officers. Let's get those taco trucks to get permits or taco pop-ups. If they don't, they've got to leave our city. Let's start addressing the homeless issue. Where are they from? Where do they live? Do they go to war? Do they need to go to jail? On parole? You know, are they sex offenders? Are they in compliance? Are they around children? I mean, there's things that we can do. And so that's what I do. I'm a policy leader. I have discussions with the city manager almost on a daily basis. I speak to the other council members without violating the comment. And so we talk about how can we make changes. So that's what I've been doing for the 100 days that I have been in office. And there's some great staff, truly. I have all some that are wonderful, and they also are working really hard and saying, we can do that. Oh, yeah, man, we thought that we can do that. You know, I learned about the parking study, right? And I keep whispering there, like, I want to come into the world. But I don't know how you feel about Trinity. Parking is a huge issue in our city. Very big issue. People don't, there's apartments being built. Apartment on First Street by the zoo, looks like a prison. Where until we're gonna play, I don't know. I'm not a fan of these big giant apartment complexes because we want our city to look good. We want a good quality of life again. So I am a fan of development that's going to help not only low income, but middle income as well. I want to help our city create generational wealth so that my son can buy a home or a condo or a townhome, or your family can, or your children, or your grandchildren. Because I won't tell the story of Santa Ana that, you know, we're poor and, you know, we're all immigrants. We're not. We're very diverse. We come from all different walks of life. And I appreciate the differences that we all have. And I love the fact that I have one side that was immigrating here on my father's, and I have one side that was born here, and they're both sides of the family are very different. On my mom's side, I'm the first grandchild and great grandchild of 131 grandchildren and great grandchildren. I never say the oldest, I'm first. I guess I'm not TV, so I don't know what happened. But so my family is very different. So I look through a different lens than other people because also working in law enforcement. I spent many years in the gang unit, there's a lot of suppression. I worked in intervention, you know, I've been trained very well by the county. So I see things from a different lens of how can we uplift people? How can we help them, but not giving out everything free, because that is not real life. That is not. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I started the PPA program, and I barely retired in 2017 because I got injured on duty. But I'll tell you, I am busier now than ever. So when I say that I don't want to give out, of course I want to help, but I want to teach them to get a good paying job. I want to offer them. I want our city to offer them. I want our city to offer a pension program. I want our city to look at how do we build up our families. And so whether that means a good paying job, whether that means higher education, whatever their choice is, because we're always going to need plumbers, roofers. You can't create a roof. And so we're always going to need those type of jobs. You know, there are some companies that cannot even hire people that we're not working. So there's a lot of moving pieces happening in Santa Ana, and there's some good things happening. And so I would say that you just bear with me, always be honest with me. I am pretty thick skin, I'm actually really thick skin. You don't yell at me, you can speak to me. You know, if you watch the council meetings, I'm trying not to take my child off, but sometimes I'm coming off. You know, I want us to have a city that people want to come and live here, visit, eat dinner here, you know, stay in our hotels. I mean, I want us to explore it. And I can't do it alone. I work with the council, the city manager, and all the city staff. And so, but more importantly, I work with all of you. And I cannot do anything without all of you. And I ask that you not walk ever behind me, and I say it all the time, but that you walk beside me. Because that's the only way that we truly can make changes. I meet every month now with the neighborhood association, the presidents and the vice presidents are, they can come too. And I'm setting up neighborhood walks, so I'll be walking throughout different neighborhoods. But I get phone calls to say, hey, can you come to my neighborhood? And I was just sharing with Alvaro that I was on second in the play this weekend. This family called me and said, can you come down here? We want you to see what we live with every day. And what it was prostitution, and there's children here. And they're conducting their business right there in a truck in front of children. Got on the horn, was Santa Ana PD, set out to meet it. and send them regularly, because this has to stop, there's children here. And so, as we do have more and more, you're probably gonna hear me say, we need more police officers. Last year, the council approved 18 positions. We don't have those positions, we're 30, I believe as of today, 30 or 31 positions down. And every year police officers retire, so in March, if 15 retire and we haven't filled the 30 that we already have, what does that mean? Right, no, that means that we have less officers. So you're gonna hear me say, I want more officers. I wanna make sure our fire department has what they need so they can respond when you call them. And in every fire truck, there's 2 EMTs, if you didn't know that, please be assured that there's 2 EMTs in every fire truck. And I think that's beautiful, and I wanna make sure they always have that. So, I'm a doer, I don't sit around and like, okay, now I'm gonna wait for it to come. I get a phone call, I come out, I'll meet with you. You tell me what the issue is, I cannot fix everything. And the guys, as you know, we want the council meetings, there has to be 4 votes. 4 votes. So if you want things done in the city, we need those 4 votes. And for example, this Tuesday for the budget appropriation, we needed 5 votes. To build some, to take care of some mid-year things that were really important. And we didn't get those 5 votes. So we didn't get what we needed. So departments now have to figure out how are they going to take care of what we need as a community without that money. And so it hurt us, it didn't help us, it hurt us. But I don't tell people how to vote, that's their decision because they've all been elected by their will. So I would just say as constituents and as voters, pay attention to how people vote. And pay attention to action, because action is about an order that you all know. So with that, I would just say, thank you for letting me serve you as your mayor. I'm not perfect, every once in a while bad word comes out, so let me apologize now. But I'm honored to serve you, and so I will take 1 or 2 questions.
My language, probably that call for a text.
I'll be on the high end, I'm gonna get in trouble again. So during the rain, I got a phone call from an elected from DC. Said, Mayor, Sergeant, Judge Carter's out here in the rain and they want you to put tents, pop-up tents in Santa Ana for the homeless because it's raining, it's cold. And I said, well, Judge Carter didn't call me. There was a lot more to this conversation. And I said, I'm so sorry, I can't do that. Well, you can do it, yeah, just make a phone call the other council, the city manager, you call them. Bottom line, they said, well, Adam's gonna do it, and Fortune can do it, and that's not sure. Why can't you do it? I said, because if we do it, they'll never leave. And we're not gonna do it because we've done our fair share. But I will tell you what I will do. I said, I will get a van and I will transport our homeless to your tents. Please call me back to let me know if that's okay with you. So, I'm never gonna call back. So we didn't try and maybe they can't pick them up, I don't know, because I didn't bother to call back either. But they know how I feel already as a mayor, and I say it all the time. We've done our part. Now it's time for other cities to do their part. And I've been meeting with all the mayors around and saying, Mayor, let's talk about what you can do for your hearts, because we should not be bearing the brunt of all of it. And so far, I take them to lunch, my mom was, time a little lunch, and then we start talking. And I don't think one mayor said, oh. I said, oh, well, how many of these? Yeah, they want us to be responsible for everything, and we're not. And we have a shop that's not even full. We have parties, never full in the past. So if people want to get on the street, they can go to party. But with that, I'll take 2 questions per. 2 questions. Anybody? Yes.
Valerie, and former elected official, I want to thank you because
I always said, you want to get the job done, you hire a woman. I know exactly who called you about Tent City because I chair Community Action Partnership for Orange County. And I have the 18 board members. Category 1 is elected official, 2 serving foreign freedom businesses. And needless to say, that representative, the person office called you, said, what's going on with San Diego, won't let us put up tents, and I said, it's about time. We've got a mayor that's standing up for us, and we are proud of the action, because now it's coming to other areas. So take notice, back to your boss. Don't mess with Santa Ana.
That's right. Sit down and I'll listen to you. And you know what, I'm glad they're talking about it, because I want them to talk. And they talk about it in DC, they talk about it in Sacramento, like, hey, Val, you're not, nope, we're not, we've done our part. Affordable housing, we've done our part and above. So we've met the requirements, so now it's time to develop and have progress in our city where people can buy and create that long-term family generational wealth, or young couples can buy, or whatever it may be, low or middle income, but it's time to take a different approach, and I'm hoping that the 4 votes are always there for that. I'm hoping. And we're not always gonna agree. I mean, we're just not as far as the council there, but we have healthy conversations. So yeah, I'm not gonna let them put up that too. Not gonna fight that. One more question or no?
I have a
You can
question.
live last.
I have a question, but I have a comment then. First, again, thank you for what you've done. I do see an improvement with the homeless situation. But I would hope that we continue to be aware of the pathways from the kids from the high school, junior high schools, and make sure that we don't have the drug addicts that are just hanging out there at the parks. I know it's very hard, but maybe once in a while, the police could control those areas, especially like on First and Flower. And some of the places where we have the junior high schools, where we have that kind of activity. But I do see a big improvement, and we thank you.
And I would see improvement. And I want you to know also, these, I sat on the school board for 8 years. Do not let that board off the hook. They have over $1 billion budget for the fee. Billion. 3 times the city budget. They can afford crossing guards. They can afford more police officers. They only have 18 police officers for the entire school district. They can afford additional police officers. So I actually created an ad hoc with 2 of the council members to address crossing guards with them. And I hope that they agree to help us. I was just talking to them about it when we walked in, because the city pays for whatever crossing guards we have right now. We're paying. So we don't have $1 billion budget, but they do. So the schools, I would like to say the officers from the school district, police department should be out there. They don't even have enough officers out there to handle the 55 schools they have now. So our officers are doing their best, and as you guys know, and that some businesses are closing early. I mean, I'm hearing this week, Councilman, we started talking about Del Taco on the Main and Main and Seaverstone, and it took out all our indoor eating because of the homeless. And there's a restaurant down the First Street that closes now real early because of the homeless. And so that's what we're paying attention to. We don't want to lose people. We don't want you to move out. We don't want business to leave us. So we are going to continue. I'm going to continue to take my chunk around.
For you.
I've always kind of where the homes are, and I look at them with tax. If we send the food banks somewhere else, then we go there. As long as we keep feeding them, they will send it like cats. You can't have it, let stay around. I don't know, and a lot of people don't like but I can't figure it out. Like you two go to the city. Like somebody that's worried about the cancer stuff. Right. I think they certainly, the Santa Ana did not for a lot of years. We've done a good job, I'm sure. Yes, and I think the other behind you, I was here comment one day, and you said it's our fault, because if you feed a bird,
one bird, 10 birds come, and that's not, I use that, all the know. And if 10 birds come, the next time 50 birds come, and then the next time 100 birds come. So it's our own fault, we were trying to be good, and the churches were feeding them, even my church was, and the food banks, things of that nature, and I don't want people to starve and die on the street, but I do think that other cities have a responsibility to step in. And if they don't want to step in, then we hold them accountable. So I don't have a problem having a hard conversation, not because I'm an expert or because I'm skeptical, but what it is it's our city. And for so long, people would say, it's okay, it's just Santa Ana. It's okay, it's just Santa Ana. No, it's not okay. Some of you have been living in your homes 30, 40, 50 years. Yes. You know, some have not, but moved in and say, oh, I'm gonna do it like that. And so it is about the quality of life. And so you shouldn't have to be afraid. And that's why I was the mayor. I used to walk at night with my dog. And I stopped walking at night, and if I do walk. If I do walk, I walk with my dog because it's scary out there. And I don't want people to have to live like that. I don't want you to feel like, well, you know, I gotta go get a very concealed weapon and we have a fire. But that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to walk in your neighborhood because you should be able to go to Del Taco if that's where you like to go. You wanna go to a restaurant. I have been nice sometimes go to Denny's on 17th and late at night. And even the manager of the night was like, yeah, we'll start closing a little early because they're homeless people coming in. And so, we had a long conversation because I think a lot of people don't get rid of that speed of the babies for their homeless people. So I'm working on it. It's only been 101 days. So, and yeah, thank you so much because I use that when I speak and I say, you be one bird, 10 birds come. So again, thank you for having me serve you as your mayor. And thank you for everything. I hope you all have my card. If not, you have a audience card and please reach out. Texting is a great way to get a hold of me. Because I'll respond on the text. I'll respond back to you. And please, I really want to thank the staff for Santa Ana because they do the best that they can. And they work hard. They take direction with city manager and it's given to her by the council and the mayor. And so again, it's very important that we want change, that we have those 4 votes or 5 votes that we need for the budget to make those changes. Because when the budget comes up, starting next month, I'm gonna ask for more money for police officers. And I'm gonna ask them to get creative, how they now need more than 31 officers. So I don't know that it'll pass. I know a couple people will vote yes with me, but there needs to be 5 votes for the budget, 5. And so pay attention to the meetings, please. You don't have to come. Sometimes they're really long, you have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning because maybe go back the next day and watch it and see what's happening in your city and what we're voting on, because it's very important. So thank you all very much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
I just like to add, I do take it, say, call me and I'll pick up the phone. She does. I call me twice. We pick it up at the other end and respond to my emails that are on. Thank you, very appreciate it. Alvaro, thank you for letting you put in front of her. I'm back there, we have these flyers put together. My plan to tell you what the rules are on street walk in. And we want to, you know, funny things, because you guys never would be once again. They popped up there, I could drive the console. I'm sick of them on the way to console down Brisbane. You have 12 more driving. So this is the guy that helped clean it up, which are the console, we appreciate it.
Again, both for those who know me, my name is Alvaro Williams. I'm the assistant director of planning and building. And one of my primary responsibilities is to oversee the code enforcement duties. As it refers to sidewalk vending, one of the key aspects people should know There's two Senate bills, state law. That many people ask, why can't we prohibit it? Just tell them not to be here, come on, stop. So there are two Senate bills, state law. Senate Bill 946, and then subsequently 972. One is the Lara bill, the other, and then Gonzalez bill, right? So the first bill actually took away from local jurisdiction by county and cities like Santa Ana, the authority to prohibit it. Subsequently then, 972, Gonzalez, Senator from Long Beach, decriminalized enforcement capability, meaning you can't do infraction, you can do only administrative cases for enforcement. This is why it's very, very difficult for us to take action from our local jurisdiction. But both Senate bills kept two key items as part of their primary responsibility. One is the ADA aspect, right? Make sure there's accessibility in the sidewalk, allow for at least 48 inches that people can walk. And then two, county health requirements, with each permit. So you can't ban food, right, without first getting permission from the county health department. So when you saw this pop up, all of a sudden it comes, you get a lot of this information that somehow the city wants to prepare. We were prepared. We just had to find out the proper way to address it again, because those were two key components. It's not something that the city can just overrule, that can never state law. So we partnered with the county health. It did take a little bit of persuasion, right, as the primary enforcement authority. But when we were able to develop a plan, then we were able to go ahead and start enforcement. And so you saw 2-3 months ago, you saw the first update, which was almost over 100 impounds. Because most of the folks that we dealt with did not have the county health permit, right? So the enforcement that we did was actually partnered with the county health department, and we actually drove up to the North County Environmental Development Department, right? And so the first thing they checked for was, do you have this county health permit? And none of them did. Right? So complying with state law, that's how we do enforcement. So when we say who took enforcement, yes, it was the city of San Antonio Division, but it was in partnership under the leadership, actually, and the authority of the county health department. Because under the state law, the California Puerto Rico Code, they can enforce their requirements and they can have the authority to impound, especially food. And so when we do those inspections, we just come out some folks. They run, they walk away, which then the city can remove the item that they're abandoned and for security reasons, right? But when we check, right, especially again, we are county health experts, some of the food was not prepared adequately. Some of that heat regarding the stuff that was being used was not hot enough to cook, right? And so people were not aware. And most of the stuff that we looked at, literally, again, was the county health inspector making the comment, literally saying, this is not good for it. This does not have the permits, right? And even if we look at state law, most of the two key requirements that both bills that criminalize vending and establish regulation allow the county to maintain, right? Nobody wants to sacrifice public health. So county does have like cities have a resource type of challenge. So once we wait to say, look, who offer the vehicles, who offer the enforcement, who offer the safety component, both usually and court enforcement, just give us one or two county health inspectors. So once we did that, you know, we develop our flyer. If you look at our flyer, it's pretty good. It's friendly. It tells you what you need. It tells you for folks that are not supportive of this type of venue, that this is what state law says. 946 and 972. Those that are supportive of the the state, here are the requirements. Right? You can't block the sidewalk, will allow to put inch access, you can't put lights, you can't put extra shading, you can't block the visibility of traffic, right? But more importantly, You need county health permit if you're gonna sell out food. And we actually put it, if you look at the flyer, they have a little diagram that gives you what it can be. But more importantly, you see the number, the website, for the county health department. And it's also part of the city center website and the building schedule. So anybody wants to get information, we have it. We have it in English and Spanish. For those that want to look at it. But that's what we were able to do that. That's more like the training video. And if simple, once we did the enforcement, we still go out there and do, whatever we call, not maintenance or reinforcement, making sure that the folks that are out there are still having, their county health permit or according to the ADA requirements. And, the county health, thank you to the county health, and they keep partnering with us, which is essential for us to be successful in some of these cases.
The flyers are in the back table. Any questions about the pop-up?
Senor Alvaro, are you able to work on weekends when you have most of the people or late evenings? Because they're very smart, right? They wait till 5 o'clock and, hey, great, the city's already closed.
I can tell you that our enforcement started, did it around 3:30, 4 o'clock, all the way to 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, including Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Now, do we have any, is there any way to enforce it? Like, for instance, I know that at the city councils, a lot of some restaurant owners have gone to city council to protest against it. Is there anything to help them? I mean, because I know like on 17th and in Bristol, or right here, I'm sorry, in Washington and Bristol, Washington Square, there's a little restaurant there next to the 7-Eleven, and here's the pop-up guy,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Well, but that's exactly the point. So, like, for us, and this is why I not the key state law, both the Senate Bill 946 and Senate Bill 972. It's not about that the city doesn't want to enforce or prohibit it, right? Is that literally the state said local jurisdiction cannot prohibit it. City of Santana does not have the authority to say you cannot have this type of vending. In fact, it's actually said the opposite. You should establish regulations to allow them to operate. Right? And one of the key ones actually says that you must allow them in the same commercial areas where you have restaurants. And allow them to open, at the same manner and time that the restaurants are allowed to be open. So that's why you put that in information that people can do the own research, not just the city doesn't want to do it. Because we're pretty good as far as responding to those type of issues. That's why we're very careful when we abide by state law. All of our enforcement effort will comply with the law and work with the county health department to ensure that the folks that were doing this type of thing to do that. So to answer your first part of the question, we were literally working 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 9. And that's why you're not seeing that as we need to be for. In fact, most of the issues, and because we talked to Orange, Garden Grove, Westminster, and most of the vendors that are setting up are within the perimeters of Santa Ana, right? If you see them on Harvard, they're on Island, the other side of Santa Ana, right? If you see them by the south side, there's somebody from Valley. You see them by Carnegie, you see them by Tustin. Even by here, on Grand or Tustin Avenue, you come north of the 22. And that is Santa Ana, and white kids will do the enforcement, and it was always the afternoon.
Where do sales taxes go? Where do sales taxes go?
So, most of the folks, they did not have a county health permit, they wanted to do something. I didn't have in the city of Santa Ana. So most of the folks that we encounter were not local businesses. They had a 213 number, 323 number, 562 number, one of LA. And the information that the county health was able to develop was actually that there were 2 key businesses in LA. Right, I don't want to mention the names, but they were based out of LA and they were not local.
Are the same requirements for the little fruit stands that pop up?
Same requirements.
Same.
And here's the other one part of that. Santa Ana was one of the first, and I know we remember this, 1990, 1991, we had the push carts, right? Chapter 26, and those, they had hot dogs, even tamales, and fruit, right? They were under the guise of the city of San Antonio, code enforcement, chapter 26, you look it up. And first established in 1991. Right, and they adhere to kind of health requirements. You can see it, sometimes some of the remember, you have forced some of the, this is the OTP expected to, some of them move. There's one, for example, at coming point. And by the entrance, you will see, they sort of hot dog. They have a little, like a sink. Right below where they wash their hands, so people want to know, how do they do it? Well, they do it, and they've been doing this since 1991 in Santa Ana with Orange County Health Permits. And we know because when we used to approve them, one of my first documents I with the city was before they got a business license, they have to have the county health. So they will renew with us during the calendar year, and then they will renew their county health permit during the fiscal year. So someone like 6 months, almost applicatory could have at least 2 inspections minimum, one by the city, by the county. And so you couldn't renew your business license if your county health permit wasn't active or on time. Same thing with the county health. If they have a business license, they won't give them the county health permit. And then they have little sinks, they have a public tank, so they have to have hot water, and you see it. So it wasn't a novelty, at least not in Santa Ana. And that tells you the stuff of some of the policies that the Santa Ana was working with that actually mandated and adhered to that state law. Just that other cities have more restrictive and state, especially decided to take that type of authority from us, from local jurisdiction.
The permits have to be visible.
Yes. Yes,
If I walk up to a taco stand or a hot dog.
Yes.
I have to be able to see.
yes, right. Well, that's the whole point. And the ones we did the enforcement, they didn't have county health permits. That's what, all the ones that we worked with county health that the county health felt it was necessary to impound the food, the perishable items, is because they did not have the county health permit. The county health inspectors have the authority to impound any food. I mean, you see it, right? You hear about the restaurant getting closed, right? You hear about trucks, food trucks getting closed. This is no different. Even with the school tenant bill that prohibit local jurisdiction to prohibit them, they still require at least if you're gonna sell food, you have to be inspected by the local health department. And you see that in the website and our flyer, they have information. So it's not like we're saying, okay, we're just gonna be hard to enforcement, right? And our folks, you know, for lack of better word, we have a cultural competence, right? Most of my people are bilingual, so they interact and we know what it's like. We don't judge people's way of making a living, but we do respect the law, and that's the key. And so we're in the way we approach type of enforcement education, right? And the flyer indicates that the case. You don't see the municipal section, right? There's a reason for that. We make it friendly so that people understand. They don't just say, oh my God, this is a ticket, it's a warning. No, this is an informational component. It does give you the aspects, you know, don't put things around the trees, allow for 40 days to go up. You have a little diagram, right? We work at it very hard. We have 1-page infographic, right? I like because it was like, I could get it done. But it serves the purpose, right? That's the key. And the folks that feel that going to the city look like that for the sales tax, it's wild. They said 946 local cities, you cannot prohibit it. If you want to regulate them, provide steps for them to stay. And then you have restaurant company, food truck, especially the food truck merchant company. It's not fair, you give them the public right away. Again, it wasn't because the city wanted to. Even the folks that went to the city council, it wasn't like we couldn't prohibit it. We just couldn't. That's the key.
However, you said that, you know, all of this, equipment that we have are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Why didn't say that the mayor said that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, they are, in compensating them. Nobody claims it. What happens to it? What do you do with it?
So we didn't take equipment. Right, but I can tell you, and you can do some of the research, they came out of the West OLC, I think the register had it. Anaheim impounded some of the items, Westminster and Garden Grove, and I can tell you that our communication with them, none of them went to pick it up. either they were very successful or they were making money on a daily basis, that they can let the equipment go, or they didn't care.
And so they just sold it.
They, I don't know, but they did. I know for us, we didn't think that was gonna be an efficient way to run our business. And we have been doing this a long time, and so I think if I can say at least in Santa Ana, and I'm not saying it won't happen again, but tonight, and West Home, your policy 1, 2. And you're not seeing like these before, and I don't think you can say the same thing for other local jurisdictions, surrounding the city of Santa Ana.
What can we do to help?
Well, obviously, continue to call both, our department, code enforcement, and county health. Right, we can't impound, right, without the authority of the county health inspector. State law still allows them to say and impound and discard any food that doesn't have a required health permit. The city does not have jurisdiction over that.
We need to move on to the one more topic, okay? We're going on in the city, the program called Vision Zero. Zero accident, zero injury. They're being put together by Public Works, unfortunately, sit on, and I agree. And so can we have, when speak about?
Yay, Ruben.
Good evening, everyone. Last but not least, right?
Thanks, Frank.
So, while he gets that going, my name is Ruben Castaneda, I'm with the state of Hyannis. Public Works Agency in the Traffic Engineering Division. Working alongside in the same department as Frank, that you all know very well. But I'm more on the traffic design, identifying safety concerns throughout the city and identifying funds to be able to make those situations better for the community. So one of the efforts that working with is something that's an update to what the Safe Mobility Santa Ana document that was prepared back in 2016 and did. That effort, that document was granted a Safe Mobility Santa Ana, but in reality, when it was, it's a Vision Zero point. So Vision Zero, what is that? So Vision Zero is a strategy that's looking at citywide all of the traffic fatalities, severe injuries that are going on, and identifying, how can we increase the safety, and how can we make those improvements that can hold for everyone. It considers that traffic deaths are preventable. It considers that saving lives really is expensive. It takes a different approach. It's the city, we're responsible for prioritizing safety and design of policies on how to make the city safer. In turn, road users use these facilities, but they have to follow the law. At the same time, though, they understand that as human beings, we make mistakes, sometimes, we didn't intend to run that wrong. We didn't intend to make well, that's what's trying to cost, but that's just human nature, it sees that and it tries to find a solution to try to prevent or reduce the risk or the severity of that type of that may be happening. And it ultimately is looking to prevent like fatal and severe injury crashes throughout the city. A little bit of background of what this document is talking about. Again, in 2016, the Village of Santa Ana was adopted. It is very similar process as we have right now. But it's due for nothing. Is that you stay up to date with what's going on in the city. It's recommended every 5 years or so. Then you have to look at the document to make it more relevant to real time. COVID kind of got a little bit away, so but here we're not. We're able to secure funding from the state conference, from the Southern California government. It's our local NPO, and then on top of that, we had to put it in next $37,000. So altogether, this update of the document is costing $230,000. And just to give it some context on the importance of the document, the original snapshot, and identified a lot of improvements throughout the city, where at that time, we found to have head collisions, severe collisions. And so far, out of 37 projects that were identified in that document, 7 we were able to fund to find grant funding for, which this document helped out a lot to do, and rolling $21.5 million in return to the investment document. So it definitely is a very important document that helps justify and identify the areas in the city that require attention. We received the funding to be able to do this updated program. We went through the request for proposals process of soliciting consultants that have the expertise in preparing this document. Ultimately, K2A is the consultant that was selected and to help us prepare this document. With them, they brought some consultants, Mark Thomas and Latino Health, which is local nonprofit here in the city. So that was something that we felt was kind of a bonus to having been able to get a good proposal from someone who's incorporating, a nonprofit that operates out of the city of Santa Ana. So we were very happy about it. In summer last year, that's kind of where we started the whole process, and we picked up with the program. Santa Ana Vision, the goals of the document program is looking again to substantially increase the safety and mobility for all users in the city. Achieve zero fatal bike and pedestrian collisions for the high severity ones as well, and overall reduce trying to reduce speeds in the city. That has been found to be one of the highest contributors to these severe and fatal accident collisions. So next, the current where we're at, we get the consultants. Part of that, what their work is, they're analyzing the collision data for the past 5-year period, from 2017 all the way to 2021. It's about 18,000 reported collisions throughout the city during that time. So they're going through all of that data and identifying which ones were fatal or high severity in the city. With that, they're going to identify the hotspot locations that we found on the corridor that we see had the most severe and part of the most attention because of the most severe collisions. And based on that, we're going to develop projects that on how we can improve the conditions for those locations. Right now, we're also, I think in the past, one of the teams members was here before as well, and I think that survey the same survey that they were here, but we're in the survey phase, and again data conversation on the stage. We have surveys in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. We're asking the community for their input on what types of improvements they would like us to consider, when trying to increase the safety for the community. And next, I'd like to share, you guys are the first group to see this video. One of the ways we're trying to meet with you.
For many years, Santana has seen numerous cyclists and pedestrian injuries or fatalities due to traffic collisions. Among the 13 most populated cities in California, Santana ranks number 3 in highest injury and fatal traffic collisions. Latino Health Access is partnering with the city of Santana in their Santana Vision Zero project to ensure our community's voice is heard. Santana Vision Zero Update is a project that will evaluate citywide traffic safety by analyzing traffic collisions and identifying contributing factors to prioritize improvements. And we need your help. The opinion and experiences of the community that lives, works, and/or transits through the city is necessary for this project. Please give us your recommendations by completing this quick survey that's available in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. You can find the survey by visiting the city's website. If you have any additional questions, please contact the City Public Works Project Manager, Mauricio Castañeda. Thank you.
And that's it. Eventually you'll start seeing hopefully a lot more of this. We're going to release it out in all of the social media that we have, the city has, the city's website, the consultants, and do whatever they can to get it out to the community and get spread the word. Part of the program is a stakeholder advisory group was put together. It's comprised of our own public works team, Michelle McCallum. She's been a great add to this team because she's going to help us, get the word out. So we're going to make sure that we have someone that can help us with that. About Calgary State is included in that advisory group. Our labor representation and impact representation is the Carl Vendor here has offered his time to help us in the decision making of what we're needing to get the quote of this document. Orange County Healthcare Agency, Santana Active Streets. I'm sure you've probably heard of it. Now they're very involved again in the city who really advocate for the safety of bicyclists and pedestrians. And our police department is included in this and the Santana High School District. We've met, we have a total of 5 meetings that we're going to be having this. So far, we've had 2. Our next meeting is coming up in April. And again, this committee is going to help us decide where to put the focus on in terms of the improvements based on the data that's going to be presented to us on this one. So yeah, again, this study itself it's data-driven recommendations. Type of study looks at engineering, education, and enforcement as the approach to help address these high collisions and fatal types of crashes. In some of the projects that I mentioned earlier that we were able to secure, we do get some findings and you all have seen them in our pedestrian improvements. But in some of these projects, we're able to implement an educational component to them. The example right now on the Main Street, we have a project that between Fairview and Ray that's going to be implemented by facility. As part of that, they're going to be going out to retire consulting separately. That's going to be going out to Leaders, Carm, and in Valley High School to educate the future users, the kids. The ones who are out there out and about, using these facilities. And it's a pretty robust program that even teaches them how to fix their own bike. They're going to be able to bring in broken bikes and with a fixed usable bike.
So it's a, and again, these are the users of the facilities and the most vulnerable. We have experienced users, which there's something they do get into these sort of places, but really it's the young that community here that we need to talk about. As you get the book, we'll be able to see on the survey, you know, these are just some examples of kinds of improvements that we made. If you come down to this, a study, things such as this, do we have a liquor? Right, that's that, you know, that could cause a trip and fall, you know, if you don't have a ramp, then you just have to step out into the street, which could eventually lead to collision by. If you're looking at things like travel circles that we have civic center between Maine and Santiago, and we also have it on Bush between civic center and 17. There's quite a few corridors that where we've implemented these, and they've found to be very successful at lowering the speed of the driving. Pedestrian highway beacons, our first one in the city. I don't know if you've driven on Main at Walnut. There's actually Monday will be the first day that they turn that signal for the pedestrians to be able to use it. It's like a vehicle, like a regular traffic signal, but only for pedestrians. It only gets activated when someone's from the top. And that device is Bristol. Bristol is very similar. 17th and Washington, and then for the first day of Edinburgh. And then Willet's project that I mentioned earlier is to be very similar. These are the preferred type of facility that I know the community likes it. It feels the safest in driving, but unfortunately not. We can't fit it everywhere. We're trying to do as best we can to put it wherever we can. In this schedule, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to the data. We're doing this community surveys. We have a follow-up meeting with the advisory group, and we're at the point where we're going to start looking into where are these collisions happening, and what order we prioritize based on where the most severe conditions are occurring. It's got a 12-month schedule. We're looking to complete the document, taking it to City Council for their adoption summer fall of this year. Because next year, 2024, every given year is a grant cycle. The Active Transportation Program releases the proper projects. We want to make sure that we're ready. This document here will make us that much more competitive, and as it's proven to do in the past. With that, I'm open for questions. I do have here the contact information for the staff that is helping manage the project. I'm the main project manager, but he's the one that's taking all the calls. I do have a pretty busy schedule, but I'm also available if anybody's has any questions. So I'm looking now or in the future or any questions regarding traffic in the future. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Study program and identifying where the hazards are. The first review is done on the south side. Sounds good, better, I just think we will lose. So we can get the program. It's very, I've been
Like a question or your
well, any question?
Not so much a question as a comment. I spend some time in Ireland each year. And one of the things I really noticed in Dublin, a lot of other areas, is what you were talking about, the specific pedestrian proximity.
pedestrian highway beacon?
Yeah, all I know is I have to cross a big street and they've got a pedestrian, it's just a pedestrian crossing line. And it is so effective. And the other thing that you showed there that they also use is bike lanes, which are definitely larger than ours. They're not the size of the lane, well, their lanes aren't bike lanes. Really very, very effective. It's we've commented on food, and that'd be nice to have at home. So
It's
that
happening.
really
awesome. A lot of these ideas that, do come from this, thank you.
On the bike lanes from that are on Bristol Street, it's 17 all the way to Notre Dame. You know, it's super dangerous there, even though you have the bike lanes. I think, you know, in South County by San Clemente, I think it is on Pacific Coast. One of the smart things they did is they built a little block wall in order to prevent the cars going into the bike lanes. And I myself will not allow my kids to go in that bike lane because in Bristol, it's terrible, you know, especially during from 3 to 6. And there's a lot of people that do want to use it from Santa Ana College and the high schools. But I think that's one of the things that Santa Ana should look at, that you should make some kind of a higher border where the bike lanes are, so the traffic doesn't go into it. I mean, to me, I think you guys did it too fast. I don't know if you needed to spend the money before the time limit. But there wasn't too much thought on making that bike lane. The idea is great. But you didn't look how to protect the bike rider from the traffic. That's just my opinion. I know.
No. They've been trying to be effective, by the way, but thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
actually something I think I've seen in Dublin.
Very short time, anticipated. A couple things move fast, so that, thank you, thank you. Andrew got it in. Yeah, the one where you not to make, I do want to say that table. We do, and thank you for Frank and Russia and Kitty. We put our application for those beautiful yard, as well as our heroes. We awarded those beautiful yard in June, as long as well as mentioning our heroes. We can take some of these forms with you, take them to your neighborhood associations. That's who we're going to get available also. And we want to recognize the beautiful yards in the city as well as our heroes. And also, as Andrew talked, make sure you got anyone who did get their ticket. They have two work rights. Yes, I want to say this real quick. Come to the April meeting, we're going to talk about rent control. Who's affected, who doesn't affect, and the part that they haven't told you yet. Going to be a rent board. Who's going to pay it?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Norris. I am a council aide to Purpose Several. I'm not be here tonight. That's the fire authority meeting. We just want me to invite everyone here on behalf of Ward 4 to the Santa Ana Now softball championship in Monday, 3:30 to 5 at California Park. And quickly short and hope to see you guys out there.
Thank you.
They're going to go to Carl Ford Park to the south side of the city, in Barrett area. We also are planning on a May meeting too. The May meeting is going to be 12. We hope to have the uses here talking about crime in the city and where it's at. If you need to get out, go back and talk about topics. And let's see, you got the ticket? Okay. Kind of say, probably some of the city. I come from the city of Midland, Michigan. We're a block away from the PD station, a block away from Center Hall, block away from the school. We never get anyone who's there is become a problem down. Okay. We have first floor prizes. Who are your floor prizes? Let's bring them back.
Very good donated.
Okay. Wedding ticket 210242.
Oh.
The door prize.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We want to bring some in.
Oh, awesome. People lucky.
Okay, 248.
People lucky winners.
Going once. Going twice. Next thing. 241. April 27th. We'll be talking about red.